Hi there, welcome to the Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 18th of November 2021. Welcome to video number 312. Today I want to talk about, in general, gender wars. But to be more exact, why solution to it. And solution basically are key to happiness for everyone is strong and dangerous manhood. Listen, I don't know if this is your experience as well, but when I was young-ish, meaning I was like 20 or something, I had this feeling that the people who are running the world are old. Like I would say, 50, 60 or older. But when I look right now, I've got this feeling that everything kind of moved down, meaning that everything that happens in our society happens in between young people. Like everything, whether this is gender wars, whether this is ecology or this vaccinated versus unvaccinated, everything happens in social media. That's like a main driver, and that's why so many older generations, they have no clue what's going on, because older people, they don't sit on TikTok all day, going to videos for hours. So that's why when you kind of look at what's happening and kind of try to figure out what's going on, you just land on the social media, try to discover what's going on, then it hits you how deeply kind of sophisticated, or how far the whole problem, which is this or that, is kind of booming is a bad word, I think, but how big it is, and you will see it only in social media. When young people are screaming about this against that and that against that, and then you can see how far it went as a conflict. And you see, this is the first thing I want to kind of concentrate our attention today, is that whatever you're gonna try to look at, whatever you try to find, it's kind of propose or put in a form of a conflict. Whether that's a racial war, whether that's a gender war, whether that's any other war, everything is a war. And the problem with that approach is that whatever you're going to put in that context or that form, as the name suggests, it's going to be a conflict, and the result of conflict is not solving a problem, it's to defeat the enemy. And that's why when you look at what's going on in gender wars, because that's what I want to go today, you see there's extreme feminism, whatever wave of it is right now, current. What you see is end up being, growing up from a really kind of good movement, now it ended up being like an overcorrection, and it becomes something which is basically hate against men. And interestingly enough, the answer from the men's side of the conflict is, really? So we won't gonna play it anymore. And then you can see the prominent rise of red pill movement or big town movement, which is basically men leaving this whole thing and saying, I'm not gonna play this game, I'm tired of it. And you can see that it overcorrected as well. In some cases it just shows how this whole thing is rigged against men, like looking at let's say how many men are deprived or contact with their kids because of how the law, when the marriages splitting, are leaned towards women, as a simple example. But then when you see what is the consequence and what is the reply from the women, so many women right now are going against this extreme feminism, because they say, we want to have long-term relationships. We don't want men to just leave us alone, because we want to be with them. And now women go against other women, and now feminism attacks like traditional women, and there's conflict in between them as well, because it all went too far. And you see, this is the thing that I want you to kind of grasp. Everything is put in a form of conflict, and the result of a conflict is not a solution. It's destroying the other side, which many times means that both sides are so hurt and so destroyed that you are not able to recognize what they are right now. You see, the problem is Point number two, that we take the same mindset towards our relationships. And then you've got two people who supposedly love each other to death and wanted to spend whole lives with each other. After a few months of a few maybe years being with each other, they go at each other's throats, and they try to kill each other verbally, or when you see how it goes in the courtrooms, it's nasty many times. And you see the same thing happens because if you take it in like a smaller scale, you start to see the same kind of mindset goes into like simple things, like having a difference of opinions. Like, it's obvious that it's going to happen. You've got two people from two different backgrounds, two different worlds, two different experiences coming together to build something together. Especially at the beginning, you're supposed to expect that you will have to understand each other, to figure it out. How do we live? What makes us tick? What makes us better, and what makes us angry? And it's about finding the solution to it. But now, because we have this kind of mindset that everything is a conflict, now when something is showing up that destroys this bliss that we had from the beginning, you get to the point that you start to attack the other side rather than try to find a solution. We lost this ability to just sit down and talk. And there's many reasons for it, but one of them being, look at Hollywood. We all watch movies, right? Just try to watch like 2 or 3 movies from a box office right now and show me at least one that will show a normal heterosexual relationship or marriage which is shown in a positive light. All of them are destroyed or in the process of being destroyed. In every situation, like the man is abusive or the woman is terrible, and they're just going to split, hurting the family, which is basically now kind of proposed as a standard. And on top of it, we kind of make this a beautiful thing that you cheat on your husband or on your wife with someone that you fall in love with. You look for the happiness outside of the relationship. This is what Hollywood propagates for years now. This is one of the reasons. I can just give you a few more, but I don't want to make the video too long. But you see, this is the problem. We have the same mindset of a conflict and bring it to a relationship, and we are surprised that it doesn't work, and that the rates of the divorces are so high. But you see, the point number 3, which where I want to kind of bring as a solution to all of this, is that you have to become a dangerous man to save the day. And let me explain. There are few things that would help you to understand it. First of them being that, especially now when everything is under attack, or one of the main things that are attacked in this context is manhood. You know, this chauvinist, this patriarchal or something, the manhood is under attack. And you attack only the thing which is dangerous, which is going against the narrative. And narrative is right now to dissolve everything. And when you see this kind of mindset of attacking everything, and you see how it works in your relationship when you cannot get to an agreement on simple things, I want you to understand that the first thing that will help you to bring hope to the situation is your ability to not feel emotions. Many times it's put on manhood as a negative, but I would say it's a complete positive. It's your strength that you don't feel so many emotions as your lady, because when something goes wrong, you'll be the first one and more privileged to not get caught in emotions, and you'll be able to withstand. You hold your fort until she's going to go through emotions, and then you'll be able to say, "Okay, honey, what can we do?" And you can play this patient role of a person who try to bring the solutions with kindness, with love, and with patience. And you may say, "Oh, this is blue pill," and I would say, "No, boy, this is wisdom. This is maturity." Because point number 2 will explain it in a brilliant. I see this coming back over and over in I don't know, few months at least. I hear much more people talking about it. That there's a rule that The key to sexual encounter is in the hands of a woman. She will decide if she'll allow you to be with her or not. Because most men want it, so it's like, they are the firewall that can stop you from having sex with her. But when it comes to the relationship, it's in our hands. And you see, this is one of the things that is another level of maturity that you can have. And you'll see that if this is true, which is, and I figured out this many years ago, because I talked with so many ladies about relationships, and then I got to the point I say, listen, you're the wrong person to talk to. Because if the girl leaves and the guy wants to fight with her, there's still a chance, because he will fight for it, and you'll see that there's much more power in us to fight for a relationship rather than the other way around. But when she wants to fight for a relationship and you say, no, I'm done with it, there's nothing you can do. When man makes a decision, the relationship starts. But when man makes a decision, the relationship ends, and this is game over. And again, I want you to look on whatever I'm saying, not in this, I don't know, red, blue pill angle. I want you to look at things that are your strength and what you're supposed to embrace to bring hope. And you'll see that there's much more than we can bring to the table in this particular area than our ladies can. We can be patient because we don't feel so much emotions. We can allow ourselves not to be caught up in negative emotions, because we understand that when especially extreme negative emotions are coming into play, logical thinking flies out of the window. There's no conversation beyond that point. So that's why I'm going to keep my fort to allow it to happen and find a solution. I understand that I am the one who's supposed to fight for the relationship, because if I'll stop, it's game over. It's strength. It's wisdom and maturity. And point number 3, I want you to understand that all this thing put in one box, the patience, the keys to a relationship, comes down to one simple thing. You will have to become dangerous. You will have to allow yourself to grow beyond your understanding. Because if you are the one who decides and can decide that this thing is going to go forward and it's going to end, if you want to keep working, you'll have to be the one who's going to keep this fort running. And interestingly enough, if you ask any lady, one of the main things that they say, what do you want from man, is protection, feeling of security. That's why, as Jordan Peterson says, you have to become a dangerous man. You have to become a monster. Why? Because at the end of the day, you have to learn how to tame it. And then you'll be able to use your strength to build and to help, rather than to take over and destroy. That's why, from my point of view, the only and the last resort of hope for the relationship, now in a time when we are under control and manhood is under attack and the relationship's under attack, is a strong man who understands how to tame its power, to use it to protect those who are in and be dangerous for those outside. So see, this is what I want you to take from this video. We are under attack. It's not better, and it's not going to be better. Looking at where this whole thing is going, we're gonna need a strong man, because we are the last resort. And everything that I said, your ability to be patient, ability not to feel emotions, understanding that the key to a relationship is in your hand, that your strength is something which is needed, which is necessary for your relationship to survive. These are all strengths, and you're supposed to embrace them. So think about it and do something about it. Because the only hope for your relationship is your strength and your ability to tame it. Be dangerous. Be hope for everyone else, and yourself included. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think and what is your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, just give me a shout, and I'd be glad to talk about it for you. That being said, see you in the next video.